Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shannon. This is Made by Boo, and I'm going to go ahead and start off by saying this might be a slightly scatterbrained episode, but I feel like you should be used to that. I definitely do get my babble on very, very easily. But it is also a episode with a lot of good progress. It would normally be one where I'd be like, yeah, we're going to have a lot because all the monthly projects that I haven't shown, I was planning on showing today, but I actually don't have a lot of works in progress that are not my monthly projects. And it is because I have 3 finished objects today. I am super excited about it. So the first one I will show, these are actually for my mom. I already blocked these socks, but as you will be able to see in about a second, I have not cut off the ends yet. I need to trim those strings. This is a pair of self-striping socks from the Cozy Knitter. It was their advent from, oh my gosh, what year is it? So it's 2025, so this is their advent from 2024. I made myself a pair of these during advent season, and then you get 48 stripes in each skein, so you end up with enough to make 2 pairs of socks. And this is the second year I've done them. And both years, after I finished my socks, I made a pair for my mom out of the other side. So she will get these. I'm going to be visiting her for her birthday in a little while, so she will get these then. Her birthday is in the middle of summer, so some nice tall wool socks don't entirely make sense then, but I know she will still appreciate them, and she will hang on to them until winter, or even just, if her feet get cold in the middle of summer. I personally wear my wool socks all winter, or all summer and all winter. Again, I am sorry if I'm a little scattered. We'll just keep charging on. So that is the first finished object. The next finished object I have is also a pair of socks. Also, sorry, I do have to turn everything inside out and finish getting the rest of the ends. I always weave the ends in and then trim them completely after I have blocked the items. So these were all drying yesterday from blocking, which is part of why I'm filming today instead of yesterday, which none of that really matters. This is going to come out on the same day. Yeah, it should come out on the same day as usual. Anyways, I do still have ends to trim, but they are completely finished and blocked. These are not self-striping socks. These are striped socks from my Maple and Barley 2024 Zodiac-themed Advent calendar. So the full skein of yarn they came with was a bright purple. I decided for my socks I wanted like this dark gray that was just from my scrap bin. I believe it is So Happy Jane yarn. But each of these stripes, so this is just, both of these pairs of socks are just vanilla socks. 99% of the time, if you are new here, I will almost always be doing vanilla socks just because vanilla socks are my happy place. I don't necessarily like having to try to remember patterns. And most of the time when I'm doing socks, it is because I am doing something where I need to kind of zone out. So there was 12 mini skeins, one for each zodiac sign, and each zodiac sign has a 10 round stripe in here. I don't remember, I probably should remember what order the zodiac signs go in, but I don't. I do remember it started with Aries. And Libra is right here, which I remember because that is my husband's and mine. So those are the ones that I definitely remember where they are. And then I'm fairly certain this one was Aquarius. So this one's probably Capricorn. And I think one of these has got to be Virgo. This one's probably Virgo. You can tell I remember the ones that apply to my household. But I have not worn them yet. The Advent calendar was, again, from Maple and Barley. I'm saying it again because I'm not 100% sure if I said it already. I'm just a little bit scattered. So my plan was to do the pair of socks. They're very tall because 70 rounds there. And due to how many rounds I need on the foot, they're going to be nice, warm, tall, cozy. But doing 10 rounds of each color on each sock, I still have like 16 grams of each mini skein and the full skein it came with. So I'm marking off Maple and Barley on my Prioritize My Stash bingo card. Oh, these were also on my bingo card, so that's 2 more so far. I am marking it off on my bingo card, but I am keeping everything organized because I'm still thinking I may want to use this advent calendar again to make a cowl using the main skein it came with. I just have not. Most of the mini skein patterns that I run across for cowls are looking for like a full advent calendar with a full 24. And even if it's only needing like 10 grams of 24, that would probably work if I hadn't already done socks and wanted to repeat everything twice. But I probably just need to spend a little bit more time looking and then I will find it. But I really did want my 12 stripes into a pair of socks, and then I'm not rushing to find the second pattern. Though, if you are not aware, the Maple and Barley's advent calendar for next year is on pre-order, if I believe. It could be a Halloween one. I will double check. But they do have an advent calendar for pre-order already that is horror movie themed, and I did get a comment last time making sure that you are aware. If you order from their website, at least at the time I got the comment, they were on sale as opposed to ordering them from Etsy. So I would definitely recommend checking their website individually because it could save you money. And even if it doesn't save you money, I think it does save them some fees and everything. So still a good thing to double check. You either save money or you don't. But I do really like the socks. They kind of have that scrappy feel, even if they did come from a cohesive, like a set. And I'm very much looking forward to wearing them. I'm sorry, I did warn you I'd be a little babbly, right? I feel like I'm all over the place. I hope I got all the information I wanted in there. My filming schedule is just a little off today, and I will get into that a little bit more later. But I do have one more finished object that I am super, super excited about. It is my twisted t-shirt that is a pattern by Brianna Lupino of the Little Wolf Knits, and it is using my advent calendar from So Happy Jane from 2024. And guys, it is gorgeous. Look at that. So all 18 of these stripes were from my So Happy Jane advent calendar, and then all the ribbing, the 3 different colors ribbing I have, was using So Happy Jane that I had from my stash, but was not from the advent calendar individually. The skein that it came with, I didn't like for everything because it was like a pale gray, and I just did not think that would look the same. But look at how gorgeous these stripes are. I am so in love. I blocked it yesterday. I haven't even been able to try it on since blocking it, so I tried it on before I blocked it. And I haven't tried it on since blocking it. So in just a minute, I will do that. And hopefully you'll be able to see it all in the frame. But I wanted to be able to kind of show it off as well. I am so in love with these colors. One of the colors in here kind of rubbed off on my hands when I was making it. So I was really worried it would bleed a lot. But I put like 2 color catchers in when I blocked it, when it was soaking. And I mean, the color catchers came out white. The water was not that blue. So I don't know what it was. But it is so gorgeous. I am so in love with these colors. I am so happy I chose this pattern for it. Let me go ahead and take a quick stop here, and then I will put it on and probably wear it for the rest of filming. We'll see. But yeah, this is the second twisted t-shirt I have made. And I made it almost exactly to the same specifications as last time. I think it's like 2 rounds longer just because of the stripe pattern, the way that worked out with the different stripes I used. And both twisted t-shirts I have made now, I've been striped, so I do kind of want to make one that's plain colored, but I don't have yarn in my stash that would allow me to make it without buying new yarn, so that may be a future thing. Let me go ahead and stop talking for a second and put this on. I am so in love. I know with the way the frame is, there's only so much you're going to be able to see, but it is so soft. It is so cozy. The other twisted t-shirt I made weirdly was also using So Happy Jane yarn. And I thought if I make one that's plain colored, I may use like Cascade Heritage so that I have some that's not planned for anything, and then I could get another one that's decently inexpensive and buy less yarn for the project. But it would also be nice and soft, and I am so in love with this. I'm definitely going to be wearing it to work tomorrow. It fits so good after blocking, and you know, sometimes you just need a win, and today this shirt is that win. So that is all of my finished objects. I'm so happy with this one. As soon as I started with the stripes, I was so deeply in love with this one. I will dive right into the projects I have. I only have one that is a new cast on, which this was also on my bingo card. The next one will also be on my bingo card when it is done, but it has just started. So I'm filming on Sunday. I finished this shirt on Thursday, and then both of these pairs of socks were finished on Friday. So this one I started on Friday in order to have something else to work on to fill the spot of this one. And I have not started projects to fill either of these spots yet. So this is my only like active work in progress. I do have plans for those other spots, but things just did not go as desired today. So things got a little bit behind. But this is, surprise, surprise, a pair of socks. It's in my basket just because it seemed to need the space. So this is using the leftovers from did I keep the label? Yes, I did. Mystery Mouse Advent from 2023. It was Agatha Christie Death on the Nile themed. And I already made the passport shawl it came with. But if you were here at the time, you will recall this was the main skein that the pattern came with. Beautiful. But the way that the pattern went, you actually needed almost 2 full skeins to do the wings, and I did not. I wanted the wings to match. This was not going to be enough. So I did not use this. I used other yarn from my stash that I had and did the wings on the shawl with that. I don't have the shawl with me right now, or I would show you with the shawl there. But it meant that I had this full skein that I didn't know what to do with, and I don't think you're really going to be able to see, but I have all 12 balls. Like the first color, there's a whole bunch of that. Even the last, all right, I just dropped the sock. It's okay. I can reel it back in like I'm fishing here. All right, we're good. So even the last colors, like this is the last color that was in it, I believe. Could be number 11. Yeah, this is number 11. But there's still a decent amount of that. So the idea was that I was going to make a striped pair of socks with the leftovers of these. After that, these are just going to go into the scrap baskets. But I cast on the socks. They're going to be mostly vanilla socks. Just me doing the stripe pattern in there. No real anything else. So I have the cuff completed on one, and I've started the cuff on the other. These are the stitch markers that came with it. I have a little, I think it's a red bottle of, I think it's a little bottle of poison, but it could be a bottle of ink. I don't remember, sorry. And then a little mustache. So I did 20 rounds of 1x1 rib, and then 5 rounds before cutting it off and starting to do that on the other side. And then I'm going to do stripe, 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 stripe until I get through the stripes, and then cast back on in this color for the heel and the foot. And the plan is, of these 12 colors, I'm going to have 5 rounds of main skein, and then 5 rounds of each of the 12 colors, which, if my math is correct, will be 60 rounds, another 5 rounds. So that's going to mean there'll be another 70 round tall pair of socks, very tall socks, and then heel and foot all in the main color. So it'll be just enough to kind of use all of them one more time in a project together, and then they may end up in scrappy projects together. I sort my scraps based on how much I have, because some can be used for some projects but not others. And all of these will have enough for 5 rounds, but some of them may not have enough to do much else afterwards. So that is the plan for these socks. They're going to be kind of an in-the-house thing while I do those stripes, because it's going to be a lot of quick changes, so they don't really feel mobile. But they are really my only like active project right now. The other ones I have are long-term projects. So the one on top for that is in a cute ghost bag. The ghosts glow in the dark. I never remember who does my bags. I am really sorry to the people who work so hard on them. I don't even think there's a label on this one. Oh, there we go. MJD threads. I always find them on like Etsy and things like that, and it's just like, ooh, cute, and then I forget instantly who did it. So this is a scrappy project. I have not shown it in about a month, and I had hoped to have this square done before showing it, but I do have a square partway through being made. So the last time I showed this, I had these 4 rounds and this brown square here, and I started working a month ago. Maybe like this. Yeah, on doing this bottom row. The goal was to get just one square a week every month. One square a week every week until I run out of scraps of this amount. I only got 4 done for the month of March, and the goal was to get 5, but I'm still calling it a win. I'm working on one that should technically be done today, or I'll be behind for the month again, but we are where we are, and it's a long-term project because each square probably takes me, I don't know, an hour if I'm not moving that fast to do. And it's not a main project right now. I do enjoy looking at it. These are all yarns that I have had in another project. The goal is right now to finish this row and then flip it over and weave in some more of these ends before I start the next row. And then I'm going to be on this side. I do have a few squares here that are a little bit bigger than the others. I'm not too worried about it. My gauge was a little bit off, but I fixed it for the others, and I'm hoping once I get stuff around it that it'll all kind of even out a little bit. So yeah, 4 and a little bit of squares added. I'm going to keep working on this. It doesn't make a really great mobile project, because I did think about trying to make this my mobile project just because I have to have all of the small balls of scrap yarn. I have to, it's just going to keep getting bigger and all of that. I am really loving it. It's super, it's a scrap blanket, so it's super all over the place. Some of the yarns from this are already in the bag to go in it. Some of them had more. The scraps that I am putting in there are yarns that I have between 10 and 5 grams of the yarn. And then if I have anything under 5 grams, it goes into a magic knot ball. But I do have another category that is between 10 and 20 grams of yarn. So, some of them I had right at that 10-gram border, so they went into that pile instead of this one. And I do have a project plan for those. I just have not started it yet. I'm a little bit overambitious when it comes to some of these projects. We'll keep getting into it. All right. So, the next ones that I have, let me readjust things again. So, I have 2 more active projects right now-ish. These are my long-term projects that I'm working on, trying to get a certain amount done every month with the goal that they will be done by the end of the year. So these are just what I got done in March. Yeah, March is right. So this one is an Anthology Throw using yarn from Ruby and Roses. It is hitting the point where it does get a little bit harder to show already. But here we go. Here is my little dinosaur. A month ago, I was in this color, almost done. And then I got the 2 colors that I needed to do done for March. Have not gotten any, I got, looks like about that much of my first April color. The weekend got a little bit away with me, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, haven't really started on my April colors yet. Really enjoying it. I have already pre-ordered the Ruby and Roses advent calendar for next year because I do really love the feel of this. I'm loving the colors. I am so excited for how it's going. There's definitely parts of me that wants to just move it faster and get it going, but one of the reasons why I'm trying to do 2 colors a month is because I know even if I just make this like my main project, it's going to be a long time before it's done. There's a lot of stitches on each round. I'm pretty sure I am up to 580 something per round. So, you go and you go and you go and you get like 2 rounds done. And I know that will start to drain on me and I won't get anything else done. But if I keep just chugging along at 2 colors every month, if I decide I can't wait anymore, at that point it'll already be half done and it'll go a lot faster. So not a lot to say. The Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. It'll be linked below. Using the 2024 Advent Calendar from Ruby and Roses. Just still chugging along, 2 more colors in. And this is very similar. I did start blocking some of them, so the leftovers from stuff I blocked are in a small bag. If I have not blocked the square, I'm keeping the yarn still attached just so I can kind of make sure I know what I've done and what I haven't done, as well as be sure I have what I need. So this is, I've moved everything out of the way. This is using the Haunted Holidays Advent Calendar from FanGirl Fibers from 2024. All the Advent calendars I'm using are just from this last year. And I am doing the Yorkshire Crochet Along blanket. So I completed 3 squares last month. My original goal was to do 2 squares a month. So it would be like the pattern for this blanket has 12 different designs and you do each design twice. So like 1 design a month. And then at the end of the month, I'd have all the squares. And then I decided to bump it up and try to do 3 squares a month. So at the end of 8 months, I have all my squares done and can start joining them and have a finished blanket by the end of the year still. So I did complete 3 squares for this month. And again, I am sorry, they are all attached. So this is a waterfall pattern. And I'm trying to keep it all nice and neat. Here is the other waterfall pattern. So I did adjust my colors before I started making them so that I should be able to do like the top 12 in one design and then the bottom 12 in another design, and the colors will work out okay. Hopefully I am right when I planned that. And then this one is foxglove. That's what these are. So they've got little popcorn stitches to make foxglove. And this one actually went a lot faster than I expected. The waterfalls were using bobble stitches, and so it ate up quite a bit of yarn and felt like it took forever. So I was expecting the popcorn stitches to be very similar, but they went a little bit faster than I expected. So I need to do 1 more of the foxglove squares this month, and then this is just already ready for the other square. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. So that is all of the active projects, monthly or not, that I have been working on. So, I mean, from what I've shown you, I have 4 more. I have 1 other monthly project I'm working on where they were mini sweaters that were ornaments. And I actually did not get 1 completed for the month of March. So my goal is to get 2 done this month. I had planned to finish 1 this morning, but we'll get into that in just a minute. So I have not finished it yet. So next month when I do my monthly projects, scrappy projects roundup, I will show what I've gotten done on that. But for this month, for the month of March, it was nothing, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. So that is all of my projects. I did have plans to start at least 1 more project this weekend, but that has not gotten done yet. I may still be able to get that done. I think I can still get that cast on today. Anyways, so the plan was, after I finished this, I have some hand spun yarn that I was going to use to make a North Ave Slipover, which is also a Little Wolf Knits pattern. She just recently released it. And I feel like it'll be a great one to wear like that spring to summer where you have some cold days, some warm days, all of that, or a fall to winter kind of thing. So I really want to get that made quickly so that I can wear it. But I just have not gotten it cast on yet. My plan was to do that this weekend. I'm going to still try to do that this weekend. I wanted to get the little sweater done first so that I could knock one of those out and feel a little better. But we'll see. I'll probably just start the new project and just go with it. And then I replaced a pair, probably technically these socks. I replaced them with another pair of socks that I'm working on. And I do still need a mobile project. So I did like cake up some yarn earlier with the idea of just random pair of socks. All still things that will prioritize my stash. So the Agatha Christie socks, I do have a category of mini skein socks that those will go under. The North Ave Slipover is using hand spun yarn that I have done. So I have a category for hand spun yarn that will go under. And then the other pair of socks where I just caked up the yarn, that will actually probably just go under like random scrap buster. Does not have a specific category, but there is a place to put it on my bingo card. I will try to put in a picture of my bingo card here. It's a little bit chaotic, so if I forget, I am very sorry. I will catch up on sharing that in the future. So yeah, I do have plans for restarting projects. I just have not gotten to it. Worst case scenario, I don't get stuff cast on this week, and I spend the week working on my monthly projects after work, which probably would not be the worst idea. Maybe I will do that with at least one of the projects I have. I don't know. It's kind of chaotic. So here is what the weekend has been, which kind of covers why I'm a little scattered. So this weekend was going to be decently fun, not entirely calm, but I was working all week, got off work, everything was normal. Last week was a little chaotic. My middle child had a choir concert on Monday. Tuesday, I had a meeting at work that meant I was there like half hour later than I normally would be, which is not the end of the world, but Tuesday is usually a day I can get a little bit of quiet to work on other projects or even just veg out with one of my knitting projects and just... Wednesday was a little bit busy because I had another meeting at work that meant I was there until 5, followed by normal Wednesday stuff, which I have a child in gymnastics after work on Wednesdays. So they're always long days. Thursday, I had a meeting at one of my child's schools, so while I was technically out of work early, it was other stuff going on. And then we ended up going out to buy a birthday present for my daughter's friend for a birthday party over the weekend. Friday, my middle child was going to see a movie with friends and she needed a ride, so they went out to see the Minecraft movie. I did not see it, they saw it, so I have no review on it yet. My youngest wants to see it, so I'm sure at some point I will have an opinion, but I don't yet. Any hoodle. So my husband had something going on, so I had to give her the ride, and it meant I stayed up a little bit later than normal to pick her up. So I was already like a little bit busy, a little bit chaotic. We get around to Saturday, and I was weaving in ends, blocking stuff, trying to find a little bit of relaxing because right at like early afternoon, I was going to be taking my daughter to a birthday party, and she's little enough that it means we go and we stay there, but she wasn't going to be able to stay for the whole thing because it was our last of our Broadway plays that we are seeing here in Boise, and we went and saw Wicked, which we'll get to that in just a second. But right as it was getting time for the birthday party, we noticed that there was a leak in a outdoor faucet. And it's like, well, that should not be turning on. It had been dripping a little while ago, and we turned it off, and then my husband went to check, and it was still dripping today, so then he looked under the house, only to discover we had what appears to be groundwater under our house. So we were calling to get somebody out to work on that, and then going to the play, which Wicked was amazing. I only knew that it was related to Wizard of Oz and that it was a prequel, but all of the specifics I did not know yet. I had not seen the movie, partially because I heard it was only half of it, and also because I just assumed that whatever you can do with a movie is going to be different than what you can do on stage, and therefore I don't want to be comparing them or having it seem like less. So we did get to go and see that, and that was amazing. It meant I was up a little bit late. So I had 2 later nights in a row after a busy week at work. And then bright and early this morning, today was supposed to be just kind of a chill day and filming. And instead, there was people out here looking at our crawl space and setting up pumps to pump the water out so they can do whatever repairs need to be done once the water is out and dry everything out appropriately. So due to all of that, there's a little bit of that stress of figuring out the fixing stuff under the house, and a lot of chaos and busyness and I am getting a little bit tired and all of that now, but we are kind of in a holding pattern. They're going to be getting the water out. We'll deal with homeowners insurance and all of that, and it's going to be what it's going to be, but it also meant that normally I would have started filming like 3 hours earlier than I did. I wasn't 100% sure I was even going to be able to film. I'm still partway through doing laundry to make sure I have clean clothes to wear tomorrow, because naturally, while we were trying to figure out what the source of the water under the house was, we didn't want to be doing laundry or anything like that, which as of right now, we don't have to evacuate our house or anything. It's not that bad. It seems like we caught it at least early enough that any repairs that need to be done can be done while we are still in the house, and we'll hopefully all be covered. We will find out more on that. It's fine. But it also means that I'm definitely coming in a little off with a little bit of extra stress, and while dealing with all of this other stuff going on, of course, I am not sitting down with the excited, I can start a new project vibe or anything, like the high of finishing these projects. It got a quick crash back down to earth with a lot of that. So I'm still a little bit scattered, still a little bit chaotic, but we are making the best of the situation we are in. When I am done filming, as I start editing, I will go downstairs and while things are processing, and I will sit down with my daughter, and I will probably let myself cast on my North Ave Slipover. And I'm just going to keep chugging along on all of these monthly projects. I'm trying not to let myself stress out too much about anything that I get behind on, such as the little tiny sweater, because the whole point of dragging these out for a long time was just to make it so that they were not overwhelming in one sitting. And with the tiny sweaters, the goal was going to be technically so I have 10 by the end of the year. So if I'm behind by 1 month, I can try to catch up this month. But also, like, worst case scenario, I'm finishing in November instead of October. It's fine. I'm going to catch up. This is all supposed to be completely fun. And with all of that, I'm going to do some deep breathing, start processing all of this so that I can get the editing out. And hopefully in 2 weeks when I'm back, it is all good news instead of chaos. We shall see, because life is very unpredictable. So for all of you out there, I hope even if you have chaos in your life, you are finding these little moments of peace in our projects as I am. Have a very, very happy making.